Namhlanje we are going to focus on vermiculture, which is the production of worms. Namhlanje sikhuluma ngayo ukuthi worms wa multiply kanjani abe maningi so that sizodayisa wona, not compost. Then tomorrow we'll move to compost and also other things as well. Oqala we have vermitechnology. Vermitechnology basically it explains, it is an umbrella, if I can put it that way. It's an umbrella term for farming worms young. So umuntu mayebuza ukuthi kahle wenzani. If you want to be faint, you can say vermitechnology. Mase uqala ukubuza how yini le? No, it's worm farming. No, tell me about it. And then bese uyaqala ukuyamchazela. But basically, this is a concept, a umbrella term for everything. A process yonke yokufama worms, whether you're producing compost, whether you produce worms, you're breeding worms or worm tea or whatsoever. It's ehlanganisa wonke it's worm technology. It's like umuntu mangabe ethi I'm a poultry farmer. Then musuthi ke kwi poultry farming wena focus kwini, then you can say ama layers inkukhu zamaqanda noma ama broilers inkukhu zenyama, but makuhlangene it's poultry farming. So it's the same thing. Kukhona izinto ezu3 sokhuluma ngazo. Eyokuqala vermiculture. Vermiculture, it is the breeding of worms. Your focus is to multiply worms so that you can sell worms. That's what vermiculture is. So mabuenzi vermiculture, you are a worm farmer, but your final product or your focus ukudayisa ama worms aphilayo at the end of your process. So vermiculture, it is the breeding, it is the art, the science, the breeding of the actual live worms, basically. So you understand that? Yes. And then you have vermicomposting. Then you have vermicomposting. Vermicomposting, you are still a worm farmer, but your final product or your focus is producing compost through worms. So you understand that? So into itaisayo wena I compost, but you're still farming worms. Now, sizozwa ukuthi vermicomposting ingena kanjani, how do you make compost and all of that. It won't be my focus namhlanje. We will do that tomorrow. Ukuthi kwenzeka kanjani nje ukuthi, but lama terms ukuthi ke usizobona manje sesichaza yonke iprocess ukuthi kuyathintana konke. You cannot have the other without local going, because you can't have a compost without worms. You need to understand worms first, and then you can understand the vermicomposting. No matter focus with vermicomposting, your worms will multiply vele. So you kind of doing both. It's just that indlela or you set up ngayo ifam lakho, the way you set up everything, it is based ekutheni wena ufuna ukufocus ku vermiculture noma ku vermicompost noma ufuna ukushaya zothi at the same time, which you can do. Yes. And then we have what we called worm tea brewing. Worm tea brewing, just like ukona brewing, alcohol brewing, basically. You are brewing itiye lama worms, basically. Worm tea. What worm tea na worm tea? 25 liters, lower 5 liters, and lower 1 liter. That is worm tea, basically. That is what you feed to your plants. So if I can put it, this is more of your liquid organic fertilizer for your crops. So you produce that fertilizer leyana. If it's yes, akulona itiye oliphuzayo, aliphuzwa futhi worms, but worms akunikeza lona. You actually brew it. Uyalipheka nje ubusuku upheka utshwala, but it does not involve heat or anything. But sizokufunda nakho ukuthi how do you do that. So basically, from this training, you can be able to produce your own organic liquid fertilizer as well. Then vermicompost, lama terms ngizolokhe ngiwashintsha depende ukuthi liphi lifike kuqala engqondweni. Vermicompost is compost lo suke uyiproduce into kanje yana nje lesikubona lapha ekugcineni into granule like that enjengenhlabathi. Worms uma ngabe seyisebenzisile isebenza into esalayo ke i-compost. I-compost, it's more of your solid form of your filokuzane yakho, of your organic fertilizer. So mawucabanga worms, other terms that you can think about is your organic conservation. It's all organic. So njengoba kade esho ubaba ukuthi unoticile ukuthi laphana worms can help us to grow better food with better nutrition as well. So yes. So worm tea brewing, it is the process of brewing worm tea. The product that we call that worm tea. It is a very powerful product. We have tested it, sayitriala, iyasebenza, but tomorrow it's going to get more exciting as to ine impact kanjani with your crops and so forth. Also with commercial farming as well. It's a product that you register as well as an organic registered fertilizer, kanjalo futhi ne-compost as well, so that you can be able to sell it commercially. So if you want to stay smaller nyana scale, you can. If you want to expand, you can as well. And then sibe ne-leachate, i-vermiculture, umhlambe before siya kwi-vermiculture, omunye ngathi vermicompost, omunye athi worm compost, omunye athi castings or worm castings. It's one and the same thing. Ayikho dlala nje ngesingisi nje kuphela. Ayikho into ehlukile. So i-compost muthando ayibiza nge-worm compost or i-vermicompost or worm castings or just castings. It's all up to you. Sengenzela ukuthi mangibuye ngithi castings or understand. Yes. Igama elithi vermi means worms basically. So that's why vermicompost and worm compost, it's the same things. So mangithi vermi, it simply means worms. And then i-vermiculture, sizobona uma ngabe sesenza ama-practicals, uma ngabe you build your worm beds. Angithi ngathi bengike ngachaza. Uma ngabe usu manager your worm bed, one of the things that you do, we are irrigator laphana or ufaka amanzi phakathi. So ngalesikhathi ufaka amanzi, khona lamanzi aphumayo, the seepage le ephumayo, there is leachate. That's not worm tea, it's leachate. The reason why ngike-highlighta lokho ukuthi some people will sell you leachate, but worm tea it's not. Worm tea needs to go under the process of brewing. Yes. Yes. So those are the terms abalulekile esinawo. Khona-ke namanye ama-terms sowathola kusasa, i-background ye-compost, types of compost and all of that, but namhlanje ngithanda ukuthi ingqondo zethu sifocus nje on worms, just worms. This is what we have. You have one business selling ama-products out 3. Some farmers benza ama-products out 4. However, for you to do that, you must be very good, and also i-technology yakhona mele ithi kuba advanced kancane. But ama-products sofocus akuwona thina ilawa 3. Depending kuya ngawo ukuthi ufuna ukuyibiza kanjani. So the first one that is sikhuluma ngayo i-vermitechnology, i-vermiculture, I mean to say. Vermiculture, which we said it's the breeding of worms. You are breeding worms with an aim of selling worms. That's what you're doing. And then aim of producing high quality compost. And then besukuba vermity or worm tea brewing. That you're still farming worms and compost, but you also brewing your worm tea there. That it is, I can say it is the simplest or the easiest worm tea. But you can't have it without worms, and you can't have compost without worms. So in one way or another, you need to understand worms. No matter how worms, but you need to understand worms. That's why we start with worms. These processes are interlinked, and also they are dependent on each other. Yes. So the product abesikhuluma ngawo ilawo. This is basically what I was saying. Ukuthi kuma worms, your focus oqala, you need to make sure ukuthi ama-worms akho makhulu. Mangabe breed, just like inkukhu, angithi you sell in weight. U2 kgs ngeke usele ngeprice, ngeke udayise ngeprice efanayo no 1 kg wenkukhu. So you need to make sure that your worms are big. If you are a worm farm, you're focusing on worms. You need to make sure ukuthi ama-worms akho they are big and also they are healthy. Just like you can't buy a chicken uyibona kahle ukuthi engathi ayihlelekile. So it's the same thing as well. There are some other factors that you consider, like the skin pigmentation. It's really exciting. Ukuthi abukeke njani umbala and so forth. I can actually come to your farm and tell you ukuthi ama-worms akho awaphilile kahle by just looking at them, their color and everything. Yes. And then with the compost, compost is just not any compost. It must be high quality compost and also focused ekutheni yiphi markets that you sell to. Mangabe udayisela abantu abakhulisa izithombo seedlings, your compost quality won't be the same as udayisela umuntu oyitshalela nje amakabishi. Umuntu otshala amakabishi ufuna azoyifaka emhlabathini, but laba abadayisa ama-seedlings bayidinga ukuthi be fine and all those specifics abasuke bekunikeza wona. So indlela uyisetha up ngayo i-farm lakho le-compost as well, it depends ekutheni what market are you actually focusing on. The nice thing about worms, there is no different markets of worms. Worms are just worms. So, makhulu, healthy, made, right, then you sell worms. Compost is a bit complex than farm worms, but we will understand why. Then UMT is it's the easiest. Now this is your input. These are the things that you need for you to farm worms. You need worms, obviously. And then you need a breeding environment, which in this case is your worm bed. And then you need your moisture. Worms, they love moisture. Unlike us, now we can't live in water. Worms, they need a lot of water. And then you need aeration. I said you are a livestock farmer, farm worms. So ayapila. So and then that we will discuss. And then with your process. So as a breeder, I love emphasizing this. As a breeder, what you are focusing in, you are focusing on creating and maintaining conditions that are ideal for your worms to grow and multiply as well. They need to grow and multiply, and then multiply, because if there is no multiplication, then you can't sell anything. You will end up selling even your initial stock. And then your product, when you make your money from selling the live worms, that's what I understand.